It is an annual rite of spring, bringing with it excitement and emotion that can be found in no other sporting event. The NCAA Tournament. Your wait is finally over, the brackets are ready, and the drama of March Madness is about to begin. Hello everyone, I'm Greg Gumbel, and this is the NCAA Championship Basketball Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Joining me at the anchor desk, as always, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. But before we unveil the brackets for this season, here's a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. The media rankings are what everyone's been following for the last 4 months. But in just a minute, the selection committee's opinion is going to be the only one that matters. We've seen them break away from the national rankings in the past, and it won't be long before we find out if the committee's done it again. It's time to talk about the topic that has a lot of players and coaches holding their breath right now, the NCAA tournament bubble. These are the 10 teams that aren't worried as much about where they'll be playing as if they'll be playing. Clark, who jumps out at you there?
Wyoming should be considered among the best of the major conference teams not holding an automatic bid. But there are plenty of non-power conference teams knocking on the door that may prevent them from getting an invitation.
You got that right, and who else might be in the same position?
LSU did just enough to get on the bubble, but I'm not sure they did enough to get off the bubble. There may have been a few too many bumps in the road for them.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Mean Green of North Texas are the top overall seed, and they will play in the East Regional. They begin the tournament as the dominant team in college basketball. They've been ranked #1 in the media poll for the entire season. We'll soon find out if they can live up to their billing. On to the second #1 seed, who will play in the San Antonio Regional. The Texas Southern Tigers are seeking their first ever NCAA championship. In the St. Louis Regional, they're back in the tournament again, and no doubt they'll be feeding off the experience of last year's appearance as they try to get to the Final Four this year. And finally, our fourth #1 seed will play in the San Jose Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are in the tournament field as a #1 seed for the second time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the #1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the East Regional will play the winner of the San Antonio Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the St. Louis Regional will play the winner of the San Jose Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 3rd. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April the 5th. Any surprises in there for you, Clark?
The Texas Southern Tigers is a surprise to me. They were on the fence as a #1 seed, and in that situation, you always expect to see a major conference team win that tiebreaker. But the committee saw something in them that they liked.
So, with the #1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. First up, we take a look at the East Regional. The Mean Green of North Texas are the top seed, finishing at 25-0. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Sun Belt Conference. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between Hartford, with 12 wins, and Lehigh from the Patriot League. And now, the #8 seed, the Central Michigan Chippewas, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and finish second in their conference tournament. They're going to play the #9 seed, the Colorado Buffaloes, who finished second in their conference tournament, finishing at 20-10. DePaul enters the field as the #4 seed from the Big East. It's yet another appearance in the brackets for a school that's no stranger to the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the #13 seed, the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Finished the season with 20 wins.
The DePaul Blue Demons are a team that is just so powerful and strong up front. I would put their front court up against just about any other teams in the nation right now. It's always good to have strong guard play, but if you ask most coaches, I guarantee you they take the good big man over the good little man most times. Their interior play should serve them very well in this competition.
Duquesne comes in as the #5 seed, finishing at 19-8. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Horizon League, the Detroit Titans, with 17 wins. Next up is the #2 seed. The Morehead State Eagles are the conference tournament and regular season champions from the Ohio Valley Conference. They'll be going up against the #15 seed, the North Florida Ospreys, with 16 wins. This is their 6th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Our number 7 seed is from the SEC. The Georgia Bulldogs were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who were 3rd in their conference, finishing at 19-11. Air Force comes in as the number 3 seed, finishing at 21-8. Cal State Northridge comes in to face them at number 14 with 14 wins in the tournament championship of the Big West. The Mississippi State Bulldogs are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, with 18 wins. There are going to be some incredible matchups in the later rounds of this bracket. If the top seeds can avoid the early upsets, we can look forward to some real heavyweight battles. Next up, we'll take a look at the San Antonio Regional. The Texas Southern Tigers are the top seed, finishing at 34-2. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. They'll take on the Norfolk State Spartans, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 2nd appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Cincinnati comes in as the number 8 seed, finishing at 14-9. Notre Dame comes in to face them at number 9 with 16 wins and a chance to make believers out of any doubters they might have. Charlotte comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 20-10. And they'll take on the 13th seed from the Metro Atlantic Conference, the Niagara Purple Eagles, with 18 wins. St. Bonaventure enters the field as the number 5 seed from the A10 Conference. This will be their 11th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Portland Pilots, finished the season with 17 wins.
The St. Bonaventure Bonnies are a team I love watching play. They've been one of the highest scoring teams in the country, and I don't see any reason for them to slow down during the tournament. If they can dictate the tempo of a game and force the other team to run with them, they are very hard to deal with. I wouldn't put it past these guys to make a run this year.
Our number 2 seed is from Conference USA. The Texas El Paso Miners come into the NCAA tournament as winners of their regular season and conference tournament championships. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Harvard Crimson, who were regular season champions in their conference, finishing at 14-12. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Alabama Crimson Tide are the conference tournament champions from the SEC. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Drexel Dragons, with 18 wins. This is their 9th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. The Seton Hall Pirates are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Jaguars from IUPUI, with 15 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the Georgetown Hoyas, come into the tournament after finishing 7th in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the UCLA Bruins, who were 6th in their conference, finishing at 16-14. It's the first question every Selection Sunday. Which is the toughest bracket? Well, this bracket looks to me like it wins that prize this year. Not only are the top seeds strong, the lower seeds can be dangerous as well. On to our 3rd bracket of the day. Let's take a look at the St. Louis Regional, finishing at 31-2. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Northeast Conference. They'll take on the Wichita State Shockers, the number 16 ranked team. This is their 9th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. Our number 8 seed is from the Mountain West Conference. The Brigham Young Cougars are on a hot streak, having just won their conference tournament championship. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Connecticut Huskies, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 22-13. Washington enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Pac-10. This is their 18th appearance all-time in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Iowa Hawkeyes, finished the season with 19 wins.
The Washington Huskies will be an extremely dangerous team in this tournament, mainly because they have such terrific veteran leadership. Coaches love when they have guys on the floor that have been around the block a few times because they don't get rattled. They play with composure. I look at the experience of this team as something that could put them over the top.
The Clemson Tigers are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Wyoming Cowboys, with 19 wins. Hofstra comes in as the number 2 seed, finishing at 22-7. Coastal Carolina comes in to face them at number 15 with 14 wins in the tournament championship of the Big South. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Duke Blue Devils have established themselves as one of the best teams from the ACC. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, with 20 wins. This marks their 10th appearance all-time in the NCAA tournament. And now the number 3 seed, the Washington State Cougars, come into the tournament on the strength of a third-place finish in their conference regular season and were winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Ohio Bobcats, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 16-12. Boston College comes in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 21-13. And they take on the 11th seed from the Big 12, the Kansas Jayhawks, with 18 wins. I think this could wind up being the bracket that brings us this year's Cinderella story. A few of the higher seeds here have had terrific seasons, and I'll be surprised if at least one of them doesn't put together a long run in this tournament. And finally, let's have a look at the San Jose Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are the top seed, finishing at 22-9. They finished second in the Big East. They'll take on the Nicholls State Colonels, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their 4th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Next up is the number 8 seed, the Fordham Rams, are the conference tournament champions from the A-10 conference. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Canisius Golden Griffins, with 18 wins. This marks their 7th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. Villanova comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 21-10. College of Charleston comes in to face them at number 13 with 17 wins in the tournament championship of the Southern Conference. NC State comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 22-11. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Big Ten, the Northwestern Wildcats, with 19 wins. Vanderbilt enters the field as the number 2 seed from the SEC. This will be their 17th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed. The Portland State Vikings finished the season with 13 wins.
The Vanderbilt Commodores do the one thing that all great teams absolutely must do, and that's play tremendous team defense. These guys have been shutting down opponents all year with a combination of speed, intelligence, and sheer determination. There have been NCAA championship teams of all shapes and sizes, but all of them played good, strong defense.
And now the number 7 seed, the Penn State Nittany Lions, come into the tournament after finishing second in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Rhode Island Rams, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 17-12. The California Golden Bears are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, with 19 wins. Our number 6 seed is from the MAC. The Northern Illinois Huskies were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Oregon Ducks, who were 4th in their conference, finishing at 17-14. Looking into the future a little bit, this bracket looks poised for a titanic matchup in the regional final. If the top 2 seeds can take care of business in the first 3 rounds, we have the possibility of a classic Elite 8 meeting. What are your thoughts on our top 16 seeds, Clark?
Air Force should be a higher seed, Greg, in my opinion. You look at their poll number and their strength of schedule, it's a real surprise they slipped to a 3 seed. North Texas is going to be an extremely difficult matchup for any and all of their opponents. I say all of their opponents because I think they'll have a lot of them. They're going a long way in this tournament.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The Big East gets 9 teams. The ACC with 6. 5 out of the Pac-10. The A-10 gets 5 teams.
It was really an up year for the teams in the MAC. They topped the non-power conferences with the number of bids they got, and it shows you how far this conference has come. They're becoming dominant at that level.
It's too bad we didn't see more small conference schools in the tournament. None of those conferences got more than 1 team in the tourney, and I don't expect any David and Goliath stories out of the teams that did get in.
I'm surprised there were so few bids for the teams in Conference USA. It was an especially disappointing year for that conference. Usually you can count on a few of the nation's elite teams coming out of there, but this was a season where very few of those teams could maintain any type of positive momentum.
Here's the list of the teams that were on the bubble heading into Selection Sunday. So, partner, which of those invitees should be sending the selection committee a thank you card?
Oregon is going to sleep a lot better tonight than they did last night, Greg. I wasn't sure they were going to get that invitation, but they snuck in through the back door. Now we'll see if they make the most of it.
While they start prepping for their first-round games, the 5 teams on the other side of the page will be full-time students again.
San Jose State stumbled to the finish line coming down the stretch. And that's not the way to close out the season if you're hoping for an at-large bid. When they couldn't get it done in their conference tournament, their goose was cooked.
All right, Clark, now that we know all the teams and matchups, time to get the tournament underway and let the madness take over.
Greg, let's throw the ball up right now. I can't wait to get started. I hope this is an NCAA tournament that gives a lot of those special moments that stay with us for years to come.
For my partner Clark Kellogg and for all of us here in the 2K Sports Studios, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us on the NCAA Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy all the excitement of the NCAA tournament.